Guten Tag alle, Herr Wallace here. Today we're going to talk about modal verbs in German. Modal verbs are a group of 6 verbs in German, and these verbs are similar to the English verbs in terms of their meaning. However, the German modal verbs will have an effect on the German word order of the sentence. This does not happen in English. So when using German modal verbs, the second verb in this sentence or clause will go to the end of that sentence or clause, and it will be in its infinitive form. So as we look at some examples later on, we'll look at that. But first let's talk about these 6. There's koennen, which is can or be able to, muessen, which is must or have to, sollen, which is should or supposed to, wollen, which is want or want to, dürfen, may or allowed to, and mögen, to like or like to. So this is just the present tense forms of these verbs. There's also a past tense, which would translate to could, had to, was supposed to, wanted, was allowed, or liked. Okay, so let's take a look at the present tense conjugation of 3 of these verbs. We'll start with können, can or be able to. So to say I can, you say ich kann, you can, du kannst, he can or she can or it kann, es kann. We can, wir können, you all can, ihr könnt, they can or you polite can, sie können. You'll notice that the first person singular and the third person singular is the same. This will be true for all modal verbs. Another thing to look at is how the conjugations for wir and sie are also the same and reflect the same as the modal verb infinitive form, which was können. This is true for all German verbs in the present tense. Another verb we want to look at, modal verb we want to look at today, wollen. So I want is ich will. This causes a lot of problems for English speakers because when we say ich will, we immediately think it means I will, because will for us is the future tense. But will means want in German. So I want, ich will, you want, du willst, will. And here you can see that they are the same again. Wir wollen, ihr wollt, and sie wollen. Again, this first and third person singular form is the same for modal verbs, and then for all German verbs, this is also the same. Okay, so one more verb we want to look at today is müssen, or must, or have to. So ich muss means I must or I have to. This is also a source of confusion for English speakers because we form this normally, but 2 words, have to, and so the temptation is to translate it as ich habe zu, but that's incorrect. You want to say ich muss. You have to, du musst. He has to, muss. And then the modal verbs, if it had umlauts in its infinitive form, as this one did, those umlauts will come back in these last 3 conjugations. So wir müssen, ihr müsst, and sie müssen. Once again, that first and third person singular is the same for modal verbs, and then this is also the same. Okay, so now we're going to take a look at some examples. I have to go tonight. So in English or in German, this is going to be ich muss heute Abend, and then gehen. Gehen is our secondary verb in this sentence, so it's placed, as you notice here, at the end of the sentence. In English, this is not what we do. So in English, we would say I have to, and then this second verb would come immediately after it. I have to go tonight. But in German, they essentially say I have to tonight, and then go is at the end. What does he want? Was will er? It's almost like Old English, what want he? Or what does he want? Sie will das Buch lesen. Ich will das Spiel sehen. Was willst du? Und kannst du die Tafel sehen? Or if you want to be polite, können Sie die Tafel sehen? Okay, wir werden da stoppen. We will stop there. Thank you for watching. Und ich hoffe, dass das auch geholfen hat. Vielen Dank.